Florida has become the latest red state desperate to redistrict in order to gain Republican seats. This whole mid-decade redistricting battle began when Donald Trump essentially ordered the state of Texas to redistrict so he could gain more seats. The Democrats countered. California then put it to a ballot initiative. The people of California voted, said, yeah, let's redistrict, and they did. The people of Virginia put it to a ballot initiative, and they said, let's redistrict, and they did. And now Florida is attempting to redistrict, but that is going to be done entirely by Ron DeSantis. It isn't going to go to a ballot initiative. And I've already done one video today spotlighting a video from Chasing Oz talking about how what they may have accidentally done is created more blue seats the way they went about drawing this map. But in this video, we're going to talk about how what they're trying to do is actually illegal per the voters of Florida.
I feel like you've been a little bit skeptical, dubious perhaps, about the legality of this because Florida's got a fairly straightforward constitution when it comes to redistricting, which says you can't do it for partisan ends, right? Is that my read?
Right. You can't intend to favor or disfavor an incumbent or political party.
Okay. So tell us how that law...
You can't draw district lines to favor or disfavor an incumbent.
So what is that law? Where did that law come from, and how strict is it?
In 2010, 63% roughly of Florida voters voted on two amendments called the Fair District Amendments, and that limited legislative redistricting, the way we just described, and congressional ones. And it's one of the very few things in law that's very clear. The first time it went into effect was in 2012, and it caused just a lot of hand-wringing and Sturm und Drang because the proponents of the amendment, Democrats and liberals largely, sued as soon as the legislature in 2012 passed its redistricting map, and they were able to prove in court that the Republicans who controlled Florida's legislature intentionally drew districts to help their party, advantage their party, and disadvantage of the Democratic Party. That's something that used to be common, but now it's not permitted. And when you fast forward to 2022, DeSantis is looking at running for president, and he and the Republicans know that there's this tight limitation, so they start to change the way they do redistricting, and DeSantis essentially sort of takes it over himself and removes from the record in a lawsuit the sort of ability to engage in that discovery to easily find that partisan intent. That takes us to today, where DeSantis, heeding or following Donald Trump's call in July, roughly, of 2025 of last year, to, hey, create me more Republican seats, Republicans, Trump essentially decrees. The legislatures, starting with Texas, start to do that. And at that point, DeSantis says, yeah, but DeSantis, sort of knowing that Florida has this constitutional limitation, he claims, well, the reason we're doing this is that the census ripped us off in Florida from having the proper number of congressional seats, and the Voting Rights Act, as applied in redistricting in Florida, DeSantis said was violative of the 14th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution, and therefore we need to have a redistricting thing. It takes us to today.
So 63% of the Florida voters in 2010 voted to not allow this to happen in the state of Florida. But Ron DeSantis is taking his marching orders from somebody much, much, much bigger than him. See, Ron DeSantis is only big in the state of Florida, hence the reason why he doesn't play past the panhandle. So he takes his orders from somebody else, and that somebody else is Donnie. Ron DeSantis has always been Donnie's lapdog, and he continues to be Donnie's lapdog. However, what he's doing now is probably going to get challenged in court and probably going to get overturned in court the way it happened in 2012 when they tried to redraw the maps. Not to mention the fact, if you go and watch my video I did spotlighting Chasing Oz, they may have, if they actually get away with this new map, created more Democratic seats.